Hey everyone, Rascally Rasmus here. Today we're going to talk about my very early impressions of Lens Island. I'm doing this video a little earlier than I normally would because of the free-to-play weekend, so I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible. We've been playing this game for just a few hours. We've been waiting a long time for the early access to end and full co-op mode to launch. And so I'm very excited to talk about this because we really enjoyed our time with the game so far. Lens Island is a survival crafting game that you can play solo or with up to 7 other friends, so up to 8-player co-op. The game features all the usual things such as gathering resources. As you could see, I chopped a tree before. You can upgrade your tools, basically all the stuff you'd expect. It also features a lot of base building mechanics. You can essentially build anywhere in the world. We'll talk more about that a little later in the video. Aside from that, the only real survival mechanic that you need to manage is your hunger and, of course, your health bar, which you also need to manage. As you might have noticed at this point, you can, in fact, rotate the camera on Lens Island. You can also zoom in and zoom further out, so you can get a pretty good overview of the game. And this game has a really big world, and I'm fairly certain the world is handcrafted as well. But as you can see on the map here, it's a big world, and it's so far been very interesting to explore and just gathering resources in general. The game also features sailing, so you can build a boat and you can actually sail around between different islands, which is something I think is very enjoyable. As you can see, we've parked our boats out here on the pier we've built. I will just try to get on the boat for a sec and sail around so you can see. The game is very cozy as well, and there is a lot of options. You can essentially have the game be exactly how you want it to be in terms of how cozy the game should be because of the world settings. So as you can see here, you can essentially change whether you have permadeath if you want the game, or whether there should be enemies at night, or how long the day should be, or if there should be fall damage in the game, or how big your backpack is, or if you want to have hunger drain on, or whether your crops will die if you forget to water them. Like, you can really tweak the options for the game to your liking. Aside from that, the game obviously has combat, as you'd expect. As you can see, I'm carrying a sword, and the combat is pretty basic in the sense that you essentially just attack on left click. As you can see, I can also jump in the game, which I quite like. And you can roll, and you can jump and roll if you do it in the air. So the combat is pretty basic. You can see on left click I swing my sword, and when I swing, you see this little circle appear. And if I swing it, as the circle appears, I will essentially perform a combo, which means I will then be landing critical hits that deals a lot more damage. And I'm not hitting any of them currently. And this also goes for your tools. So when you're chopping trees, you can also do critical hits. So you can see I'm doing 22 damage on a correctly timed hit versus 14 on a regular hit. So there's something to all these mechanics that's a little different. Aside from that, in combat, you have you can get, I think, 2 abilities actually, but currently I only have 1, which is tied to my weapon here. So this is like a spinning attack with my sword. You can get different weapons. These are, you can see currently I've only unlocked the hammer and the sword, but there are more things you can unlock, such as a spear and a shield and possibly other things later on. As you can see, the hammer is a lot slower, and the ability on the hammer is a more like over the head whack with the hammer. So there's a lot of different options for the combat seemingly. You have a few armor pieces here, and as you can see, I have a little dog following me as well, which I have the leash for the dog here. The game also has a skill tree, which essentially starts you out in one of 4 areas. The combat focused area, the gathering focused area, or crafting focused area, the farmer area, or the hunter area. And these so you basically use skill points to unlock additional skills in these skill trees, and they can be quite impactful. As you can see, like this one is 20% more jump height and 10% more movement speed. So the game is a bit of an RPG as well, which is pretty interesting. And with that, I think we should talk a bit about the crafting. So crafting in Lens Island is a bit manual. Like, there's not so much quality of life, at least not early on in the game, such as like there's no crafting from storage early on in the game. That being said, you do unlock the ability to craft let's see, a magic chest, if I can find it somewhere. A void chest is what it's called. And this one might have additional quality of life. And so far we have unlocked more quality of life, such as the dog I have following me will pick up items on the ground for me and so on. So there are more quality of life that are unlocked through upgrades, but at least early on, the quality of life has not felt that high, especially since there's no like quick stack to nearby chests or anything like that either. So the crafting is otherwise pretty basic. You just go into your crafting menu and you pick what you want to craft and you craft it. And there is also like an anvil here or a smelter to make. We need 3 iron bars or iron ingots here and 3 scrap metal. And then we also need to fuel the fire with coal. So it does take quite a bit of manual input to craft certain things, and this also takes time to craft. So that is something to keep in mind, that the crafting is a little more involved than just going up to crafting station and pressing, this is what I want. But so far I've been surprisingly unbothered by the, I don't know, friction with the crafting in this game compared to how I normally feel, because I normally think craft from storage is very important to have. Aside from that, you have base building, and I really like the base building. This is our work shed, like our initial work shed we've built here, and our little farm. And this is our actual house, and we built 2 dog houses outside our house as well. And as you can see, there's not much in the house yet, but there is a lot of options to unlock cosmetic items or decorations and various things. So there's a lot of crafting options, and crafting is very simple, works very well. You can see the crafting cost on the items, and you simply just place the items down, and you can raise and lower and rotate and all the things you'd expect. And yeah, so there's a lot of options. Maybe we could build a little outpost tower going out here into the water. And so there are a lot of options for that, and we could also just take a staircase and add on. And there's railing and all the things you'd expect. I haven't really experienced it yet, but there is supposedly also like base raids at night. I have had one where we kind of got attacked a little bit, but it was very minimal. But as you get a bigger and bigger base and more outposts out in the world, I think it becomes more and more important to defend your stuff. And so the game has a little bit of a almost like tower defense-esque style to it, with you can build ballistas that will automatically fire bolts at nearby enemies, and I think later on you can unlock cannons and stuff as well. So that's something I think is pretty cool, and I think you can actually disable these raids in the world settings as well, possibly. At least I think this Harvest Moon enemies is has to do with the raids you experience at night. So I think it's pretty cool that the game offers this too. As mentioned, my initial impression is that the quality of life is a bit lagging, but I can also tell that later on you'll be able to unlock these waypoints so you can actually fast travel around the world. And yeah, I think all in all the game is just super charming. Lastly, I guess I should really just point out that I also really like how the merchants actually display their items. As you can see here, if I walk up to this guy, he will sell me rawhide for 15 gold a piece, but I can sell him for only 3 gold a piece to him. So you can basically make money doing anything. If you want to make all your money chopping wood, you can do that. Wood just doesn't make that much money. Whereas I found that fishing is certainly a better resource or a better way to make money early on in the game, at least in our experience. And so you can essentially play the game the way you want to. So if you see this video right as it goes live, I'd strongly recommend you to check out the game while it's free to play, if it at all interests you. The game is fully free to play through June 22nd, I believe, the Sunday of this weekend. And so yeah, you have a good chance of checking out the game for free. And there'll be more tips and tricks and probably a full review as we get to spend more time with the game. But for now, I just wanted to make a really quick video because I think the game is super charming and it has a lot of really nice qualities, and you can play it both as a survival game or as a more cozy experience. We've at least really enjoyed it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day until next time.